Hello everyone, this is Shelby with Shelby Creations. Yes, it is clean, but it's not going to stay that way, because I'll tell you right now, we're going to be making a mess. And, well, you all know how much I love vellum. Well, what if somebody doesn't have vellum? What can we do to sort of imitate that effect? Now, I did this video several years ago, but, well, it's about 2 years ago, but it's in the lost archives, wherever it ended up being, so it gives me a chance to recreate it for all of you. Now, one thing you're going to need is an empty squirt bottle, and this one, as you can tell, it already has a little bit of water glue in it, but we're going to need more. And I have, you know how some things you can find the little beads that, you hear that help mix it? Well, I snitched 2 out of other empty containers and put them in here. So what we're going to do right quick is we're going to make some water glue. And this is really very, very simple. So we want to take our glue, and this is just regular white glue. I bought it, used to be the dollar store, or Dollar Tree, still under that name, but it's more like the $1.25 store. And I'm going to add about 1/3 of the way up, maybe a little more. Where am I at? Keep pouring. All right, that'll do. Now, before I put my lid on, I like to wipe my bottles because I don't want to have a stuck bottle or stuck bottle top. Now, and we have, it's about up to here. So what I'm going to do at this point is I'm going to add some water to it. And that's basically all it is. A little bit more. All right, well, just a tad more. All right, we'll see where we're at with there. If I need to add more glue, we can do that. This is really a very basic recipe. It's just water and glue. And I go by how it sounds when it mixes. If it's too watery, I'll add more glue, which I think I'm going to, because that is a tad on the watery side. And you're going mainly by sound here. You can do 2 parts glue, 1 part water, half and half. You know, either way would work. So this is basically going to be like half and half. I'll put my lid back on it. And you may think that is a lot, but we're going to be using quite a bit today. Give it a good shake. Now, if your mouth is wide enough and you can't find the little metal beads, you can put a marble in there, but I would go just one because the glass could break and shatter. You don't want that to happen. But just shake it up. Or even a plastic bead, like one you would use with jewelry. Now, what I have done is I have my brown craft mat here, and I covered it with plastic wrap. And I taped it on the back. As you can see, well, you probably can't see the tape, but I taped it on the back. And one thing I want to share with you here, if you have a craft mat on your desk that tends to slip and slide, put a piece of plastic wrap under it. This thing is not going anywhere. Oh, there's something under the plastic there. Oh well, it'll live. So what I want to do now is Let me find my, I know I've got it in here somewhere. We're going to need a piece of that and a tissue. Regular napkin. Now most of the napkins you buy, some are 2-ply, some are 3-ply. And what you want to do is, I know I got one corner here that I took apart already so that it would be easier. I think it's this one. And you're going to take off the inner ones. See, there goes the first one. You can still see that it's got another one under it. And then I want to peel that off. You can either loosen it up at the corner or use the tape. It's whatever you want to do. Now at this point, I'm going to cut it in quarters because I don't need, let me get out my bigger scissors. I don't want to sit here all day with this. I don't need big pieces. You could certainly do a whole napkin like this and then cut it up. I'm going to cut this one in half too, one side. Now, I'm going to take one of these, move my scissors out the way, move this whole thing down so that you can see. And all I'm going to do, set that up there, is I'm going to take my water glue and saturate the whole napkin. I'm going to start with this corner that wants to flip up. Be generous with your glue because this is what's going to, now see, napkins do have a tendency to fold on you. That's why I start at the center and work my way out. Very gently, because that napkin will tear if you're not gentle. If it has wrinkles, don't worry about it. Wrinkles are our friends with this. It adds character. And just like that. And then we simply set it aside and let it dry. Now, another thing you can do, if you want more of a, let's say a rice paper effect. And this is where the fun comes in. We're going to do the same thing here. Put our glue down. And just smear it out. You don't want, you want it to be wet, but not, overly so. But then you don't want it to not have enough that your finger will not glide across it, because that's where tears come in. Now, you can see the wrinkles forming. So we're going to hold it at that point. I need a paper towel here. Now let's say I wanted to add something else to it. You can add tea leaves. This was a lemon ginger tea, but it has, see if I can get it out here in my palm. If you feel it, it has the bits of lemon that are hard, and that's not really something I want on here. This is enough, and what you're going to do is take your tea bags and just feel. If you feel the hard lumps in there, don't use it. We'll set that one aside. This one, oh, this is a nice one. But again, I see I dropped some. I'm feeling hard lumps, so I'll set that one aside. And I have this one here, which has a nice smooth texture to the tea leaves. So I'm going to get it all down on one side, cut my top off. And I'm not worried that a little bit got down there. But we're looking at just tea leaves here. Nothing hard in there, just tea leaves. I'm going to do just a few here and there. You know, just a little peppering of them. Because the water in that glue is going to activate that tea, and you're going to get some coloration from it. Now, the next thing I want to add here, if I can figure out what I did, here we go. Dryer sheet. These things are great. And what I'm going to do, I'm going to tear off just a strip and then come back in here and tear off pieces and just set them down here and there, willy-nilly, in that glue. And you can do big pieces, you can do small pieces. Put them down there. I think I had another piece I tore off earlier. A couple of pieces here. We'll do one there. Let's see if I can get a couple of little thin strips. And once you figure out, these do, for some reason, it won't tear that way, but it will tear. If you look at it, it does have a grain to it. And tear off little strips and put them down. Well, that's a little bit big. So we'll come in here, take that apart, and then divide these up. Because that's what I want. I want the fibers on there. Just like that. Now, once you put these on, simply take your finger and pat them down. Do not rub. All right, if you find one that doesn't want to stick, take your glue, put another drop or two down there. No. Get it off my finger. And just pat those into the glue. I know it's hard to see, but now at this stage, I'm going to leave it just like that. I'm going to set this on a flat place to dry, and the reason why I tape this is because I set mine in front of my fan. And move this over here in front of the fan where it can dry. What did I do with my paper towel? Now, there's a reason I use plastic wrap. And I'm going to show you, you find the ones I have used. And I just get the cheap, this came from Walmart. And this roll will last you quite a long time. I have tried wax paper. I've tried parchment paper. And I'm getting basically the same results on the papers. And see, this was my parchment paper. I just cut it into little squares. And I would do them on here and then move them over. But on the wax paper, see, this is one with the T. And you can see where I did the gluing and stuff. That, when I go to try to remove it, tears off. So what I'm going to end up having to do with this one is it's not going to come out so much like vellum. So wax paper, that tore that way, was to me a failure. It did not give me the result that I wanted, but that's still something I can use. I can put that on the back of a tag, and it's really quite durable. So there's that one. I also tried on a wax bag. Now these are the old bags that, I don't know how many of you would remember them, but mothers used to wrap our sandwiches in them for school, and they stayed fresh all day long. I bought these online at Walmart. They were the only place I could find them. So I tried it on that, and it came off all right. It took a little finagling, but it also took off some of the wax. As you see, it's not that easy to pull off. It can be done, but it was a bit of a struggle. And I'm going to save that back because I'll figure out something to do with it. But this was the result of that. And you can see the fibers, you can see the wrinkles. And if you put it under, or if you wanted to, let me see what I can find here. I mean, look, you can still see through it. Just like vellum or rice paper. But look how strong that is. That worked out great. Then I did it. What I did here is I inked my dryer sheet, and then I tore off the pieces, and this is with the tea. And I'm not sure, let me see if I've got a white piece of paper I can put under this so I can hold it up a bit closer. And that was the effect I got. Now, the tea is awfully bumpy, and I'm afraid that might come off eventually. But the good part about this is when you get, just start peeling it up, and it will, look at that. Look how easy that comes off. Look at that. Very, very easy. And I can reuse that for another one. But now you're left with the shiny side, so I could actually put that side down, which would keep the tea from coming off. Or I can use the matte side. But again, look at the strength in that. And that was just with the fibers in the tea. And that turned out gorgeous. Now I do have, let's see, where did I put them? I just had them up here. These are the other two I did. And these are just simply napkins. Done the same way. I start with this one. And I tape this down because I found out the hard way that you really need to tape things down if you're going to sit it in front of a fan. Find a place where it will start to peel up. One of these corners will. Now, of course, I'm going to have, there we go. And it will peel right off. Like I said, don't jerk it off. Be gentle with it. And the reason why I'm having difficulty on this corner is because it got caught in the wind from the fan, and that plastic overlapped. But off it comes. Now, I'm sure I could have taken the same napkin, run it through my printer with a piece of vellum, and had that. But what if, yeah, I'm sure there's some of us out there that don't have printers. We don't have vellum, and this is a good way to get the same effect. Now, I don't know if you can notice it, but there are a couple of little shiny spaces here. That is where I ended up with holes in my napkin and had to re-glue. But I can still come in here and fussy cut that out. But again, nice, strong. This one here. Now, I rubbed this one a bit too hard, and it tore right there. But, and yes, it's dry. At least I hope it is. But all I did was take a piece of my dryer sheet and simply glued a piece down. Now, see if we can get this side off. Come on. There we go. I'm going to come down this side because this side I don't think got overlapped with the plastic. My edges kept flopping over. There we go. And pull that evenly down. I get down here. And I can see this got tucked into there. So I'm just going to ease that off, just like that. Now, here, I'm not sure this is even showing up, but it looks almost like it's frayed here. That is just simply glue from the plastic without being on the napkin. And there's where I patched that one. This one here, there was a hole there, but it remained a hole because I didn't see it till just now, but that's okay. But now I have this. Again, nice and strong. So with a little glue, some water, napkins, and you can use both the decorative part and the non-decorative part. You know, the plain white part. Save a dryer sheet. Try it with one dryer sheet if you like it. You know, save one here and there. You don't need to save every dryer sheet because then you'd be hoarding. And we don't want to hoard our supplies. We want to create with our supplies and use them. Yeah, I'm one to talk. And if something doesn't work out, don't throw it away, because I'll find something else to do with that. And I think that turned out really neat. You can see where the tea faded with the glue. I think that is really interesting. Now this one, this particular one, I'm not worried with too much with everything coming off, because you can do your single one ply of your napkin, put your tea down, and then put another ply right on top of it, which I think that's what I did with this one. I can't really tell. I think I did. Yes, from the way it looks. I think that's what I did with this one. So I'm not too worried with, you know, the tea falling off, but they will eventually work their way through that top layer. But until then, it works. So this is a way that we can have what looks like rice paper, what looks like homemade rice paper, what looks like vellum that we can use in our journals, on our cards, on our tags. So just a little something I wanted to share with you. And yes, it can be messy. You will need a place to lay these out to dry. You want them to dry flat, because if you lean them least little bit, that glue is going to puddle, and it'll puddle along the edge, or it'll run off, and then it'll mess up whatever's underneath it. So lie them flat. If you're doing them on a craft mat, do like I did, tape it down so that it doesn't blow if you're using a fan. Just little precautions. But that little bottle, I mean, when we started, it was filled up to there. Let's see where. It was filled up to here, and just on those two, I used that much. So you will go through this. Don't worry about it. Just keep mixing it up when you use it. And remember, we started out with nothing but cheap white glue. You can use what comes from the Dollar Tree. You can use Elmer's glue, whatever white glue you have around, and simple water. Either 1 part water to 2 parts glue, or even half and half, which is what I did here, was the half and half. So if you enjoyed what I have shared with you today and enjoyed making a mess with me, give me a thumbs up, hit that subscribe button, and who knows what we'll find out to do next time. So until then, bye guys.